Hello, welcome back to EDH on a Budget. I'm your host, Iceman, and today we're going to be going over 5 different cards for Graveyard Hate / removal. First up, we have Honor the Fallen. This is an instant for 50 cents. It's 1 and a white. It says remove all creature cards in all graveyards from the game. You gain 1 life for each card removed this way. So I do typically like it so that if you're gonna exile all graveyards that you get a benefit from it. I prefer to exile other people's graveyards instead, since the vast majority of decks have some sort of graveyard matters cards in it, whether it's flashback or retrace or whatever, even encore. I mean, they just keep coming out with more and more stuff. And the life gain can be quite significant when you're removing all creature cards from all graveyards. So, and it's not complete graveyard hate since there's still graveyards, so that's another possible upside. You could build your deck more for like enchantments or whatever and just not really affect you that much. And the life gain, like I said, will help you stay in the game longer, typically. Next up, we have Soul Guide's Lantern. It's a classic for 10 cents. This artifact is 1 mana. When Soul Guide Lantern enters the battlefield, exile target card from a graveyard. It's okay. It's irrelevant, mostly. It's the threat of activation where you have tap, sacrifice Soul Guide Lantern, exile each opponent's graveyard. That part doesn't even have any mana attached to it, so you don't have to leave mana up, and it's very difficult for a graveyard deck to deal with this, because if they play a remove artifact card, then you'll just tap this in response. It does not hit your graveyard, and it has the ability to pay 1, tap, sacrifice this card, and draw a card. So if you had to dig a little deeper for answers, you could do that cheaply. Next up, we have Thraben Charm. This is an instant for 1 and a white. It costs 20 cents. It says choose 1. Thraben's Charm deals damage equal to twice the number of creatures you control to target creature. So creature removal, a little conditional on you having creatures, but it doing twice the number of damage equal to the creatures you control, that's much better. Going to be a much higher amount. And it also says destroy target enchantment. Very relevant card type. And the last mode is exile any number of target players' graveyards. So that's great because, again, you don't have to choose you, or if you have you can make it could be political. Hey, I won't exile your graveyard if you attack them or whatever. Always a way to get extra value from this stuff. This is it being instant speed, and all is going to be hidden information that the opponents don't know, so it's going to be hard for them to play around this. Next up, we have Abstergo Entertainment. This land is $1.65. It's a legendary land with tap, add a colorless, so it doesn't even enter tapped, which is great. This is pay 1, tap, add 1 mana of any color. I do like that being added onto the card. I know that's not a great rate compared to other rainbow lands, but in a pinch this will work. And pay 3, tap, exile Abstergo Entertainment, return up to 1 target historic card from your graveyard to your hand, then exile all graveyards. So again, this is going to hit you. Historic cards are sagas, artifacts, and legendary. I don't know if it's legendary creatures or just any legendary. But regardless, that's going to be pretty good for you. Your commander, no matter what deck you have, obviously, your commander's going to be legendary. And artifacts, yeah, you could, get a mana rock back, but that's gonna be kind of irrelevant for the most part unless you're in an artifact deck. And again, you are exiling your graveyard, so just keep that in mind. Again, it's instant speed, so if they try to Field of Ruin this land, you just tap this and pay the 3 mana, and there's nothing they can do about it if they don't have a way to counter activated abilities. And then last up we have Stone of Eric. Stone of Eric is a legendary artifact for 1 mana. It costs about 16 cents. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it. Pay 2, tap, sacrifice Stone of Eric, exile target player's graveyard, and draw a card. So similar to Soulguide's Lantern, but I would say a little better, because Soulguide's Lantern only exiles 1 card upon ETB, and this, while it doesn't do that, it makes it so creatures dying get exiled instead. So it removes the die's triggers of cards that care about that. So this is going to host not just graveyard decks, but aristocrat and sacrifice decks. Because those creatures no longer die, they get exiled, they never hit the graveyard. And it's only your opponent's creatures. Again, I love that one-sidedness. You are choosing one player's graveyard to exile if you activate this card and you draw a card. Typically, 1 is all you need. Yes, everybody seems to dabble in graveyard, but if you're going up against a deck that you know is a graveyard deck, they're going to be the one you're going to target, because they're going to be the biggest threat with a card like this. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow. Budget on.